It's time for this week's episode of Brandon Sports Talk, featuring in-depth interviews from those who are trending in the world of athletics. And now, here's the host of Brandon Sports Talk, Brandon Pate.
Welcome back to Brandon Sports Talk. In today's episode, I have the privilege of interviewing the La Sierra's head flag football coach, Coach Brianne Talboom. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Brandon. Thank you so much for having me on. I'm very excited to meet you, get to talk to you, and get to talk about one of my biggest passions, flag football.
Thank you. Can you talk about how you knew that you want to get started in coaching in college flag football?
Yeah, absolutely. And to be completely honest, I never thought that being a collegiate flag football coach was even in the cards. I've been a part of flag football for over 25 years. I've been coaching, playing, and officiating it at the high school level. And so once I heard that this may become an actual collegiate sport, I wanted to get involved right away. So I made sure that I could position myself to do so, started making some calls, seeing how I could help. And then what do you know, I ended up at La Sierra University as the inaugural women's head flag football coach. So we're super pumped to get started. And once again, thank you for helping us shine a light on flag football.
What was that experience like, getting to play flag football and getting to be a ref in it?
You know what? It's very interesting because now I have a different lens, if that makes sense. So I've seen the game as a student athlete. I've actually played flag football. And as a female myself, I've had those experiences, which I assume a number of the athletes I'm coaching have had to or will have. So that helps me in that lens. And then as a coach, because I have also coached flag football specifically, as well as other sports, I have that lens. And then finally, as an official, I have that lens. And so it just really broadens my understanding of the game. And I think it helps me be very confident in my skill and ability to teach this game. And so I feel like we're a little bit ahead of maybe others because we've been doing this for so long. And so I'm very excited as we build this team and program to get started as soon as possible.
What was your experience like going to Whaley and getting to compete?
Walla Walla?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I went to Walla Walla University and I actually went there to play softball. Unfortunately, we didn't have flag football at the collegiate level in my day because I'm an oldie. And so I actually was a 3-sport athlete in high school. I was able to play flag football in high school, starting in middle school, actually, because our school offered it for both boys and girls. So I started my playing career in flag football in 7th grade, played all the way through 12th grade, but then had to make a decision on what was going to be next as far as what sports were offered for female athletes such as myself at the collegiate level. And I chose softball, which is another one of my loves. So I went to Walla Walla University in College Place, Washington. I played softball there, loved my time there, had an amazing group of friends, and just really enjoyed it. Now, while I was there, luckily, they still had flag football. It wasn't a varsity sport, but it was an intramural sport and pretty competitive. So we would play that. We would get into what they call mesky match and different kinds of flag football bowls and things. So we played quite a bit still competitively and had a really good time there as well.
After your time playing at Walla Walla, what was it like getting into coaching?
Yeah, getting into coaching was very exciting. You know, I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do when I went to college, but I knew I wanted to do something with youth. I really enjoyed working with youth, mentoring and coaching, and I knew that I love sports. I have always been an athlete since I was very young, and I wanted to bring that passion into the community. So naturally I gravitated toward physical education. And so that's what I graduated with from Walla Walla University. They have a wonderful physical education program there when I went through. That really started shaping my coaching career. I really was excited to jump into the coaching role, to be a mentor to young athletes, both boys and girls, and really just bring my love and passion for all athletics to the youth. And so I was very excited to get going. So what actually happened was is when you're becoming a teacher, you have to do student teaching, which I'm sure you're aware of. And I wanted to make sure that I went somewhere to do my student teaching where my supervising teacher would tell me the truth. And so I actually went back to Loma Linda Academy, which is a private high school where I went to high school, where I played flag football and soccer and softball. I went back and I did my student teaching with Sue Peterson, who was my physical education teacher I looked up to very much. She's wonderful at what she did, and I knew she would tell me the truth. So I started there, and because I did a pretty good job, I was offered a full-time position right out of college, and that's how I got started. So I was a physical education teacher in the middle school, taught 7th and 8th grade, as well as started my coaching at the old age of 23 right out of college. So I started right off. From there, I went into the high school and was the associate athletic director there and started coaching high school sports and continued that for the next, I believe it was about 13 years that I coached ladies flag football, ladies basketball, softball, and 1 year I even did ladies soccer. So I had a pretty robust tenure in high school sports.
What was that experience like getting to coach on the college level of women's basketball before transitioning over to flag football?
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought that up because after I spent a number of years, as mentioned, at the high school level, I was ready to kind of see what the college experience was. And so La Sierra University actually reached out because they were looking for someone to spearhead a new program. They wanted to bring in clubs and leagues. We really wanted to get the community involved. And I had a lot of experience running leagues and camps and different clinics. So I applied for the job. I thought it would be a good fit. And sure enough, they called me back and they said, by any chance, have you coached basketball before? We would like to hire a women's basketball coach as well. And because I had that experience, sure enough, I got the job, and that's how I started my time at La Sierra University.
What was that like balancing both being the head women's basketball coach and the flag football coach?
At that time, I wasn't the flag football coach at the collegiate level because we didn't have it yet, but I was doing the other piece of being an athletic administrator. I was promoted to the associate athletic director, and so doing both definitely was very time consuming, but us in athletics, we wear many hats and we're able to really use our time management to our best ability and get things done. So we're very much used to working in a high pace, high pressure situations. And I think, I was able to get the job done. I think we did well. And I had an outstanding staff to help as well. My assistant coach, Ashley, she just did an amazing job stepping in and helping support the program as well. But it got to the point where I decided, it needs to be one or the other. And so I went ahead and went towards athletic administration and continued on as the associate athletic director, at which time Ashley, my assistant coach, was promoted to the associate head basketball coach and is still in that position today alongside Kevin Mitchell, and they are doing a wonderful job with the women's basketball program. So I'm excited to come back full circle and get back into coaching. I will also be the senior associate athletic director at La Sierra University and ready to kick off our flag football season in spring of 26. We are currently actively recruiting student athletes and already filling up our roster and wishing it was already spring so we could start playing.
What was that feeling like in getting announced to become the inaugural head coach for flag football?
I mean, to sum it up, just excitement. I was over the moon that La Sierra University took a chance and was one of the programs who saw how big flag football was going to be. And so the institution said, let's do it. And I really appreciate La Sierra University and our athletics department and our director of athletics, Javier Kroom, for having the foresight to say, let's do this. Let's give female athletes another opportunity to compete here at La Sierra University in this new and exciting sport of flag football, which you and I both know, we just talked about. It's not new. I've been playing since the 90s, but now it actually has a spotlight, and it's become a sanctioned CIF sport here in the state of California, and numerous other states are starting to sanction as well. So it's going to continue to grow. And again, I thank La Sierra University for being on the forefront of that. I thank the NAIA for being on the forefront of that as well, and allowing us to sanction this as a varsity sport where we can give scholarships to deserving student athletes to help them get a wonderful career doing something that they love, like flag football.
What was that process like for you starting up a flag football program?
It was a long process. It definitely was a long process. Luckily, because of my background and having spent so much time within flag football, I was able to navigate that pretty seamlessly. I knew the equipment that was needed and those types of things. So I was able to put together a pretty solid budget and was fairly accurate on what we were going to need and what that was going to cost. And then kind of project as far as a staff that would be needed, the number of recruits we would like to do, what we needed from the university. There are a lot of moving parts, but any coach who's interested in getting started, do not be shy because you might not know how to do it. Just jump in and start. And I am more than happy to help you. I'm happy to be a mentor, give you everything that I put together to help you start, kind of like a startup kit. Feel free to reach out to me. I'm sure Brandon will post my contact information, but don't be shy. Just say yes and get going.
What are some of the processes you took to build a flag football program and bringing it to Los
I wanted to make sure that we were doing it right. We want to create a very strong culture, which we will talk about soon. But we also want to make sure that the program is sustainable. So when we are recruiting student athletes, we are recruiting them to come be successful and also to retain them, right? And to do that, we need to make sure that we are supporting them. So we have a support staff that is here not only in athletics, but also our campus partners to make sure they succeed. It is very important that they do well in the classroom. If they don't do well there, they're not even eligible to compete. So we need them to do well in the classroom. That way they're able to be successful in the classroom. That will transfer onto the field and we'll be able to, reach the goals that we've set for ourselves.
Can you talk about, of course, the culture that you've started to build for the flag football program?
Absolutely. Our culture is a mentality of we, not me. Okay. And we put that all around a culture of family. And I'm not the type of coach that uses that word as a buzzword. I actually mean it. And I want it to be authentic. So when I'm recruiting, I take a lot of time interviewing each student athlete. I've already seen their film. I've talked to their coaches. I've talked to others. I've been to their games. I've scouted them. I know they can play. I'm not worried about that. I need to know now if their head and their heart are a right fit for our family, our institution, being a Golden Eagle and what that embodies, right? Do they have that championship mindset? And when I say a championship mindset, I mean a champion in the classroom, a champion on the field, and most importantly, a champion of character. It is very important that we find the right fit. And within that culture of family, as you know, healthy families typically have respect, love, trust. And when you have those things, the student can be their authentic self. And when they can be their authentic self, they are going to produce much better. They're not afraid to make mistakes because guess what? When you make mistakes, that's when you learn. That is when you learn. And I design my practices specifically with so much pressure to make you make mistakes because then we can address it. We can fix it, have 100 reps on it so that you feel comfortable and confident and prepared when we go to play. So when we play, again, you're surrounded around your family, very authentic. They're there to support you. They're your number one cheerleaders. They believe in you. You feel it, you know it, and you produce. Our student athletes are our greatest asset, and we have to get them to know them as individuals first. Know them, take care of them. That is what we do, and that's why we have that we, not me mentality to support one another and that family atmosphere. Our immediate family is the team. Our external family is all of their families because we want them to be involved as well. We're not just recruiting the student athlete, we're recruiting their family as well. And we want them to come and enjoy La Sierra University, and we want them to graduate, and not just graduate, but graduate with honors, graduate from a flag football program and go out into the community, the nation, the world, and tell them about La Sierra University. That's what we want.
Who are some of the teams in your conference that you compete against?
Yeah, absolutely. Currently, we are in the CalPAC conference, which is the California Pacific Conference. We are going to be moving to what's called the GSAC conference. It's more competitive, and I think is going to be a great fit for us. Currently, there are 6 teams that are participating in flag football. My understanding is by the 26-27 season, all or most of the programs will be competing in flag football as well. So I believe there are currently 8 programs within GSAC with another 3 associate programs, and then we're going to be coming in La Sierra University next year as well. So it's a growing conference. It's a very exciting conference. We'll be playing primarily here in Southern, Central, and Northern California, as well as Arizona. And then, of course, we're going to be picking up games from our NCAA friends. Most of them are at the D3 level right now. NCAA has yet to sanction flag football as a varsity sport. It's just a club right now, but I do believe that that is going to be coming very soon. So we'd intend to play a few of those games. And then, of course, our other friends in the JUCO space, a number of community colleges that, we're starting to create partnerships with that we'll be playing as well. So a lot of fun opportunities here for us. And, we're here in Southern California. Where else would you want to play? It's wonderful weather year round. So we invite all of our Central and, Midwest and East Coast schools to come out, visit us, go to Disneyland, go to the beach while you're here. We'd love to play you.
What would that home game atmosphere be like when you play teams like Holy Family, Milligan, and Life?
You know what? Any team that we play, we're going to bring the vibe. It's going to be super exciting. We have a stadium that is very close knit. We don't have the very large bleachers where people look about this big on the field. You actually get to come and be on the field. Bring your bleacher chairs, bring your blankets, be a part of the action, get involved and let's have some fun. We want to hear you on the sidelines. We want to have the tailgates before to pump everything up. We want you to come in your golden and navy. Come out and cheer us on and be a part of the program. We really want our flag football program to be a pride of the school and the institution, and to get everyone involved in what we're doing.
What does that recruitment process look like for those prospective student athletes?
The recruiting process, it is a long process, and I take it very seriously, and I'm very sincere and very transparent. I do not want any student athlete to come to La Sierra University with any surprises. That is why we take it very slow. It is a slow process because we want to make sure we're truly vetting the student athlete and their family, and that they have the time to come visit our campus multiple times, to talk with me and my coaching staff multiple times, to get to know some of the other student athletes we're recruiting, to talk to professors, to really get a sense of where they may be living for the next 4 years. It is very important that we let them know our expectations, what we're looking for. And when we recruit them, we don't just get them in the door and say, okay, you're on your own. No, we're still there for them. We continue to recruit them every day, even after they've signed, so they know how important they are to us. We absolutely want them to feel seen, appreciated, valued, be a part of our program for the 4 years that they're going to be there, and then beyond. Once they become an alumnus, we still want them involved. We want them to come back and share their experiences and be a part. Play in our alumni game, come to our alumni dinners, get our alumni letters. They are still just as important as the active student athletes that are here. So once again, we want and are looking for Golden Eagles who embody that championship mindset, championship in the classroom, champions in the field, and of course, champions of character.
As a head coach, what is it like seeing those freshmen putting on that uniform for the first time and seniors putting it on for the last time?
I might shed a little tear. I got to be honest. this has been a long time coming and one of my passions, and a passion that unfortunately I was unable to see at the college level because it wasn't available. So being able to be a part of this as a coach and being able to see these young athletes get the opportunity to participate in a sport that I am so passionate about and taught me so much, I am over the moon for them and just absolutely excited that these opportunities are here. And whether they decide to play at La Sierra University or not, we are still their biggest fans and so excited that they're just playing. If you have the opportunity, take it. Go enjoy being a collegiate athlete and enjoy this sport of flag football, which is so unique and so exciting. You know, get that college degree and be successful. And let's cross our fingers that not only is there going to be the Olympics, for every 4 years, but also a professional league, right? You never know. So keep playing hard, keep reaching for greatness. And, we're going to be your number one cheerleaders.
What is that like, getting to see them going on to the Olympics and playing in the Olympics?
I'll be speechless. I will be absolutely just seeing it on TV, being a part of the Olympics. And here it's going to be in LA, which is right in our backyard. I'm going to do my best to get tickets. I think it's going to be a hot venue. A lot of people want to go. But what an opportunity for these athletes to be able to compete at the highest level of an Olympian, to be able to represent not only yourself and your family, but also your university, but most importantly, your country. Oh man, what an awesome opportunity. And I am doing my best to make connections to help the student athletes who come to La Sierra University have an opportunity to potentially participate in those Olympic Games.
What are some of your future plans for the program moving forward?
Oh, we have big plans, Brandon, all kinds of plans. But again, we want to take it slow to make sure it's sustainable. I have a very strong staff along with me who have been playing the sport of flag football specifically for just as long as I have. And I know that we are very well versed in the game and we are ready to get going and to be able to teach these young athletes the actual game of flag football, and not just the game, but also how to be, champions of character. We want to be mentors for them and help them succeed after flag football as well. And so again, we're looking for those high achievers and we are here to support them in those journeys, not only at La Sierra University on the flag football field, but then after, once they get out there and really show the world what they can do both athletically and or in their career of choice.
What advice would you give those incoming freshmen entering their first year?
I have every athlete coming in is different. And so what I always tell them is, that we want you to come here, but I want you to want to come here as well. You're the one who's going to be living this every day. So it needs to be your choice. Respect mom and dad's opinion, of course, but here's the thing. Mom and dad aren't going to be there every day. It's you. You're the one who has to make this choice and who's going to have to live with that choice. So really take the time to make sure it's an institution that you click with. Because here's the thing. God forbid something happens and you get hurt and you cannot play flag football. Would you still want to be at that institution? Keep that in mind. It's very important, right? And our flag football athletes, we really encourage them to be a part of the campus community. Yes, flag football is going to take up a lot of your time, and so is academics, but we also want you to have that social aspect. We want you to be a part of the campus community. Get into other clubs, right? Be a part, get in intramurals, do everything you can so people see you already naturally as a leader, but be a part of the campus community. Don't just be siloed within athletics.
What advice would you give those players that have aspirations of going on to the Olympics?
It's absolutely possible. Do not doubt yourself for 1 second. You absolutely can do it. Why not you? Right? Why not you? Keep working. And you've heard it before. Effort is non-negotiable, but you're the only one who can do it. I have no idea if you're giving 100% effort. Obviously, it may look like you are, but if you know you have a second gear and you haven't put it in, that's on you. right? You need to be a self-starter. You need to give 100% at all times, even if you only have 80%. You're not feeling good, you're tired, whatever it may be, but you have 80%, you better give 100% of that 80 every day, day in and day out. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Say yes. Get involved, get the reps in, play in a club, play on the high school, reach out to coaches, shake hands, get to know people, put yourself out there. But you know what's going to get there? Not just your athletic ability, because you're going to be surrounded by a ton of athletes. What's going to set you apart is your character, right? That champion of character, that servant leadership, that's going to set you apart. Be a good person and good things will happen to you.
What advice would you give those future coaches looking to get started in coaching in flag football?
It's a wonderful sport. If you are at all interested, and maybe you've been coaching another sport, again, don't shy away, because there's a lot of transferable skills that you can take from those other sports to bring into flag football. Okay. If, again, you need any mentorship, you have any questions, I once again will say, I'm sure Brandon will put up my contact information, and I'm serious about this. If you call the number that's listed, I will actually answer. If you email, it doesn't go to a black hole. It's actually my email. I will get back to you. I am more than happy to mentor and help get more coaches involved in this wonderful sport so that we can bring it to more athletes in the community. We need more coaches to do that. So don't be afraid. Just get started. USA Football has a lot of wonderful courses you can take. There are many books out there. And again, myself as a mentor, I'm more than happy to help, but just get started. Say yes.
Where can my listeners find the program at on social media along with you at?
Yes, absolutely. You can find us on Instagram at La Sierra University Flag Football, at LSU Golden Eagles, and at La Sierra University. My email is B as in boy, Talboom, TALBOOM, at lasierra.edu. Feel free to reach out any way, and we'll get back to you absolutely.
Thank you again, Coach Brianne Talboom, for your interview, and best luck in your future at La Sierra as the head flag football coach.
Thank you very much, Brandon. It's been wonderful. I really appreciate the time.
Thank you. You can find Brandon Sports Talk on Instagram at Brandon Sports Talk, Twitter at Talk_Brandon, and you can find me on YouTube at Brandon Sports Talk. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you again, Coach Bree, for your interview, and best luck in your future.
Thank you.
You've been watching Brandon Sports Talk. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe to Brandon Sports Talk on social media and on YouTube.